I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah, and this is Nightline. The top stories: a unified global effort needed to combat the rising of intolerance, racism, and Islamophobia. And Online Safety Bill 2024 passed with a 22 majority. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim called for a unified global effort to embrace the values of compassion, justice and humanity to combat the rising of intolerance, racism and Islamophobia. The Prime Minister noted that those issues have become the persistent challenges faced by the Muslim world and humanity at large, including the tragedies unfolding in Gaza and the rise of fascism and racism in various regions. Speaking at the meeting of the Strategic Vision Group, Russia Islamic World on Wednesday, Anwar stressed that the values of tolerance, compassion and humanity must guide the Muslim world in addressing global challenges.
This is a period of great tragedies befalling humanity at large and in Muslims in particular. From Gaza, from parts of Europe, the rise of fascism, racism, the intolerance, the dehumanizing actions, atrocities perpetrated on people, not only in Palestine and Gaza in particular, but also in many parts of the world.
Anwar said platforms like the Russia Islamic World meeting should be used to promote these values to the international community as they are relevant not only to the Muslim world but also to the global community. The Prime Minister noted that although Malaysia is a Muslim majority country and Islam is the religion of the Federation, it exemplifies the practice and upholding of the value of tolerance. The meeting, which runs until Thursday and is attended by over 200 representatives from 32 countries, serves as a platform to explore opportunities for global collaboration while addressing pressing issues faced by Muslim communities and beyond. Also present were the chairman of the Russia Islamic World Strategic Vision Group and RIs of the Republic of Tatarstan, Rustam Mitikhanov, and Deputy Foreign Minister of the Russian Federation, Andrei Rudenko, Director General for Political Affairs at the OIC, Mohammad Salah Takaya. The Online Safety Bill 2024 was passed by the Dewan Rakyat on Wednesday after a block vote called by opposition MPs. The bill, aimed at regulating harmful online content, passed with a 22 majority, receiving 77 votes in favour, 55 against and 90 absentees. When presenting the bill, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reforms, Datuk Seri Azalina Othman Said, said that its primary purpose was to curb criminal activities and harmful content on social media and not to restrict freedom of expression. She also stressed that the bill was aimed at online service providers who would be required to apply for licenses starting in January next year so they could be held legally accountable.
Jadi saya tidak melihat adanya overlap. Tapi akta CMA yang saya sebut tadi, akta yang pertama itu, yang mana menjadi abang kepada akta ini, itu adalah abang, ini adalah adik sebab pelaksanaan, itu telah diluluskan oleh Dewan Rakyat.
Azalina said that its primary purpose was to curb criminal activities and harmful content on social media and not to restrict freedom of expression. It is to target harmful content such as cyberbullying and child exploitation. Public Service Department Director General Tan Sri Wan Ahmad Dahlan Abdul Aziz heads the list of 94 Selangor State Award and Medal recipients. The investiture ceremony was held in conjunction with the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah's 79th birthday on Wednesday. Wan Ahmad Dahlan was conferred the Darjah Kelas Pertama Sri Paduka Mahkota Selangor SPMS, which carries the title Datuk Sri. Also awarded the same title was the Edge Communications Sendirian Berhad Executive Chairman Tan Sri Tong Kui Ong. The Sultan also conferred the Darjah Kelas Pertama Datuk Setia Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah SSIS, which carries the title Datuk Setia, to Selangor Pardon's Board member Datuk Nik Suhaimi Nik Sulaiman. Meanwhile, Selangor State Infrastructure and Agriculture Committee Chairman Izham Hashim was among 11 recipients of the Kelas Kedua Datuk Paduka Mahkota Selangor DPMS. 15 individuals also received the Darjah Kelas Kedua Datuk Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah DSIS. The ceremony held at Istana Alam Shah in Klang also saw 17 receiving the Darjah Kebesaran Ahli Mahkota Selangor AMS, including Selangor FC winger Muhammad Faisal Abdul Halim, who fell victim to an acid attack in May. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has approved the government's application to prevent Petro Saudi International Limited (PSI) and its director Tarek Obaid from assessing 1.61 billion ringgit in funds tied to One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB. Judge Datuk Ahmad Shahriar Muhammad Saleh made the ruling on Wednesday after finding sufficient evidence to show that the funds were linked to money laundering activities. The funds are held in an account managed by the US-based law firm Clyde & Co. LLP on behalf of PSI and its subsidiary Petro Saudi Oil Services Venezuela Limited. The ruling comes after Obaid was sentenced in August to 7 years in prison in Switzerland over the embezzlement of $1.8 billion from 1MDB. The government had previously claimed that the money originated from 1MDB funds used in a joint venture with PSI to establish 1MDB Petro Saudi Limited in 2010. The Health Ministry, through its private medical practice control section, has begun an investigation into claims that a private hospital stored a newborn's body in a freezer for 2 weeks. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad advised the public to remain calm and wait for the facts before making any presumptions on the case.
Saya akan menantikan dengan sabar untuk mendapatkan dapatan yang penuh daripada semua pihak berwajib yang sedang menjalankan siasatan, termasuklah pihak kami SIKAP yang telah turun mendekati beberapa pihak yang terbabit.
The issue came to light after the founder of a non-governmental organization claimed that the baby's remains were prevented from leaving the hospital after the father couldn't afford to pay the bill. The baby was then placed in the freezer for 2 weeks until the father managed to pay the bill. According to the founder, the baby was buried in the Muslim cemetery in Selat Klang on December 9. The hospital involved, Hospital Bersalin Razif, HBR, in a statement on Wednesday, said it did not prevent the baby from being released for burial. It said its doctors informed the baby's father to make burial arrangements the following day. The hospital also said the mother was told she could bury the baby before settling the bill. HBR claimed that the mother was admitted on humanitarian grounds due to severe labor pain despite being unbooked, unscreened and lacking antenatal care. Meanwhile, the Selangor State Government said it is also probing the case. Selangor Standing Committee on Women and Family Development, Anfa Al-Sa'ari, said she would liaise with the relevant authorities, including the police and the Social Welfare Department, to gather further details. She added that once the details of the case are confirmed, further assistance will be provided to the baby's family. Police have arrested 2 individuals, a local and an Indonesian national, in connection with a cross-border foreign exchange forex investment scam that resulted in losses amounting to nearly 12 million ringgit. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID Director Datuk Sri Ramli Muhammad Yusof stated that the syndicate is believed to have defrauded over 300 investors. In a statement on Wednesday, Ramli said that investigations indicated that the scam was orchestrated by individuals from Malaysia and Indonesia. The syndicate used a company registered in Indonesia, PT Sentratama Investor Future, to masquerade as a broker managing financial transactions between investors and the organization. He added that 2 other companies were also identified as promoting the fraudulent investment scheme through face-to-face engagements. However, these companies were not registered with the Companies Commission of Malaysia (SSM) and were likely operating from Indonesia. He also said the two suspects, aged 33 and 58, were detained on September 9th and October 25th for their alleged involvement in the scheme following 51 police reports lodged with the authorities since the beginning of the year. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for cheating. Ramlee also advised the public to remain vigilant and conduct thorough checks before participating in any investment scheme, particularly those offering unusually high returns. He also urged individuals to verify information through official sources such as the CCID's Semak Mule portal or Bank Negara Malaysia's alert list. In Kedah, a man's attempt to smuggle drugs using a luxury multi-purpose vehicle MPV was thwarted by Customs Department officers after a brief high-speed chase in Pokok Sena last Wednesday. The operation resulted in the seizure of 110 kilograms of shabu, valued at 3.5 million ringgit. State Customs Director Nur Izzah Abdul Latif said that the suspect, a local man in his 40s, was driving a rented white luxury MPV when he was pursued by enforcement officers at 8:30 a.m. The kilometre-long chase began in Taman Bandar Sejahtera and ended in Jalan Kampung Tok Kun. The man then abandoned the vehicle, fleeing 500 metres into a rubber plantation before being nabbed. A check on the vehicle revealed 4 gunny sacks containing Chinese tea packets filled with shabu. The suspect, along with the vehicle and seized drugs, was then taken to Bukit Kayu Hitam Customs Office for further investigation.
Fire. Yes. Sebab normally kita selalu kalau kenderaan yang bau dadah ni kan kenderaan yang biasa je kan. So kali ni kita nampak dia guna MPV yang mewah lah. So memanglah kalau MPV mewah ni jarang kita nampak kononnya nak bawa benda-benda yang terlarang lah kan. So I think that is the MO lah yang digunakan untuk mengaburi kita. Say again? Ini kereta sewa.
The suspect, who lacked identification documents, was believed to be transporting the drugs from the northern region to the Klang Valley for distribution. He is currently being held under remand until December 16. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act for trafficking. Former PKR Vice President Datuk Zuraida Kamaruddin has been ordered to pay 100,000 ringgit instead of 10 million ringgit to the party for breaching a bond agreement. A 3-judge panel comprising Court of Appeal judges Datuk C. Min Chun, Datuk Azman Abdullah and Datuk Ahmad Kamal Muhammad Shahid made the unanimous decision allowing part of the appeal filed by the former Ampang MP. Zuraida had appealed after the Kuala Lumpur High Court on June 23rd last year ordered her to pay 10 million ringgit to PKR. The High Court had ruled the bond was a valid and binding contract. High Court Judge Datuk Akhtar Tahir had stated in his judgment that Zuraida's claim of being coerced into signing the bond was baseless. In 2020, PKR, through its Secretary General Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, initiated a lawsuit alleging that Zuraida violated the terms of the bond she had signed with the party. Zuraida, in her defence, claimed she was forced to sign the bond to become a candidate in the 14th general election in 2018. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has welcomed investments from Denmark in high-value sectors in Malaysia. The Prime Minister stated that these investments are focused on green energy, renewable energy, the digital economy and healthcare sectors. In a Facebook post, Anwar also expressed his appreciation to Danish investors who have set up regional hubs in Malaysia, particularly Maersk and United Plantations. This followed a visit by Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen to Parliament on Wednesday. During the meeting, Anwar and Rasmussen discussed bilateral relations and cooperation between the two countries. The Prime Minister also welcomed the reopening of the Danish embassy in Kuala Lumpur last August. From January to October this year, trade between Malaysia and Denmark grew by 12.9% to 2.19 billion ringgit compared to the same period last year. Currently, Malaysia hosts over 100 Danish companies with investments exceeding 2.2 billion ringgit in the manufacturing sector as of June 2024, creating 5,024 job opportunities. Malaysia's wholesale and retail trade sector grew by 5.5% to hit 150.1 billion ringgit in October 2024 compared to the same period last year. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, the growth exceeded the 5% expansion observed in September, underscoring the sector's resilience amidst a stable economic environment. DOSM attributed the surge in sales to strong performances across the retail trade, wholesale trade and motor vehicle sub-sectors. Retail trade led the charge, rising by 7.1% to reach 64.9 billion ringgit, while wholesale trade contributed 66.3 billion ringgit, reflecting a 4.8% increase. Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Muhammad Uzair Mahidin also noted that the retail trade demonstrated remarkable resilience driven by broad-based growth across its segments. A survey by the central bank showed on Wednesday that Singapore's economy will grow 3.6% this year, up from a previous forecast of 2.6% expansion, while monetary policy settings are expected to remain unchanged at an upcoming review in January. The median forecast of 20 economists surveyed by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, expected growth of 3.1% in the final quarter of 2024 and 2.6% growth for the whole of 2025. Last month, the Trade Ministry raised its gross domestic product GDP forecast growth for 2024 to 3.5% from a previous range of 2% to 3%. Meanwhile, majority of economists surveyed expect the MAS to maintain its current monetary policy in its quarterly reviews in January, April and July. Meanwhile, the Asian Development Bank, ADB, on Wednesday lowered India's economic growth forecast to 6.5% for the current financial year from its earlier estimate of 7% due to lower than expected growth in private investment and housing demand. The forecast for the 2025 to 2026 financial year has also been lowered to 7% from the previously projected 7.2%. Last week, the Reserve Bank also significantly lowered the growth projection for current fiscal year to 6.6% from 7.2% earlier and hiked the inflation forecast to 4.8% in view of slowdown in economic activity as well as stubborn food prices. Dream starts for national shuttlers' actions from BWF World Tour Finals after this breather.
Tiga identiti, satu misi. Si ayah, seorang perisik. Kondo no kyujitsu, si ibu, pembunuh upah. Dan si anak dengan kuasa telepati. Berpura-pura menjadi keluarga, tetapi ada rahsia yang disembunyikan. Saksikan Spy X Family setiap Ahad 11 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Alah, dah habis tak sempat nak tengok.
Drama TV3 Mak? Tengok je lah, tonton.
Telefon nak buat?
Telefon Mak. Mula-mula Mak buka tonton, lepas tu tekan sign up here untuk buat akaun baru. Isi nombor telefon, email dengan password. Masukkan nombor TAC dan siap.
Ya, senang je. Jadi tengok dasar?
Boleh lah. Tadi dah drama Mak tu.
Wah.
Kucing anda ada personality superstar? Inilah masa si comel sertai pertandingan Cat Fashion Week. Hantar video 1 minit paling bergaya. Email ke kontes@tv3.com.my atau muat naik ke media sosial sebelum 15 Disember. Jangan lupa hashtag kucing terpilih bakal melangkah ke pusingan seterusnya dengan hadiah menarik. Info lanjut di TV3 Malaysia. Jadikan si bulus anda super meowdel terfamous.
Topik di MHI sepanjang minggu.
Kalau berlaku kerosakan harta benda akibat banjir, apa solusi tuntutan yang boleh dilakukan oleh bangsa?
Sebut tentang banjir, jangan galak sangat main air sebab kita tak tahu penyakit bawaan air.
Kalau dah kena scam akibat kecurian bank, boleh tuntut daripada bank berkenaan.
Oh, jangan. Kalau kena kat saya, boleh hilang kawalan tu. Nanti panas badan jadinya. Jangan lupa saksikan MHI jam 10 pagi.
Eksklusif di TV3 dan tonton.
Badminton, the 2024 BWF World Tour Finals. National shuttlers made a cracking start in the season-ending tournament, with 3 of the Malaysian representatives securing their first wins in their respective group openers on Wednesday. In the men's single category, Li Zijia outclassed Taiwan's Chao Tianchen 21-13, 21-15 win in 39 minutes in their Group A match. With the win, the world number 8 looks set for a good show against world number 2 Anders Antonsen of Denmark on Thursday. Now, national duo Aaron Chia and So Woo Yik came from behind to beat China's He Jiting, Ren Xiangyu 17-21, 21-18, 21-15 in 63 minutes in their men's doubles Group A clash. The world number 5 Malaysians pair will play Fajar Alfian Rian Argianto of Indonesia next. Earlier, mixed doubles Chen Tangji and To Iwei also kicked off their campaign with a hard-fought 14-21, 21-10, 21-14 victory over compatriots Goh Soon Huat and Chevon Lai. Next up, the world number 8 pair will face Dejan Fadinasya Gloria Emmanuel Wijaja of Indonesia in the second match of the Group B. Moving on to esports, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M6 World Championship. Malaysia's sole representative Selangor Red Giants SRG advanced to semi-finals in the lower bracket after downing Indonesia's RRQ Hoshi 3-1 in the best-of-5 format on Wednesday. Despite RRQ Hoshi's initial dominance in the first game, SRG fought back and eventually closed out the match with 14 kills to 12. However, the Indonesians bounced back in the second game with Arthur Sunarko, or better known as Sut Sujin, delivering a flawless performance to level the score at 1-1. Undaunted, the home favourites hit back to take the third game with a commanding 25 kills to 9. The game also saw SRG's gold laner, John Vincent Banal, or Innocent, scoring 19 kills to eclipse the previous tournament record of 17 kills set by RRQ Hoshi Shevchenko David Tendian, or Skylar. SRG then sealed the 3-1 victory by clinching the fourth game with 17 kills to 6 to set up a semi-final date with Russia's Team Spirit at the Axiata Arena in Bukit Jalil on Saturday. Formula One now, 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton has finally bid farewell to the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team on Wednesday, describing his 12-year journey with the team as a profound and authentic partnership far beyond a mere business transaction. The 39-year-old British racing driver often described Malaysia as his second home, symbolizing his bond as a driver for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team, a collaboration with Malaysia's petroleum company. He also highlighted the rarity of finding an organization where everyone works seamlessly and relentlessly, thus crediting this unity for the successful transition to the power unit and 6 world championship titles achieved together as a family.
I think looking back, I'll just be really proud of the things we accomplished, both on and off track. And I'm forever grateful to the team, and it's like to Petronas for having me out here and including me, and amazing. You know, the welcome I've had here has been amazing, and also the work that they do.
Hamilton also expressed how exhilarating it was to be on track, brimming with confidence, knowing that the car was poised to finish the race effortlessly because the power unit is doing its job with the probability of very few failures. His role as the team's lead driver, which began in 2013, has now come to an end after 12 seasons as he prepares to join Ferrari starting in 2025. Earlier, Hamilton made a special appearance at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre KLCC, where he bid farewell to over 3,000 Malaysian fans. Failed martial law, former South Korean defense minister attempts suicide. The details when Nightline returns.
Topik di MHI sepanjang minggu.
Kalau berlaku kerosakan harta benda akibat banjir, apa solusi tuntutan yang boleh dilakukan oleh bangsa?
Sebut tentang banjir, jangan galak sangat main air sebab kita tak tahu penyakit bawaan air.
Kalau dah kena scam akibat kecoyan bank, boleh tuntut daripada bank berkenaan.
Oh, jangan. Kalau kena kat saya, boleh hilang kawalan tu. Nanti panas baran jadinya. Jangan lupa saksikan MHI jam 10 pagi.
Eksklusif di TV3 dan tonton.
Dalam masa 2-3 second saja, saya angkat balik kepala, dah ada kenderaan. Saya buat brake emergency dan saya tercampak kereta itu. Saya bangun, saya dah rasa macam kaki saya tu macam tak boleh gerak. Sampai dekat hospital, lepas x-ray, doktor bagi tahu memang patah.
Susah kami sebelum ni, kami tak pernah mohon zakat sebab kami rasa kami masih mampu usaha lagi lah dengan kudrat kami kan. Tapi bila keadaan suami macam ni, jadi saya terbuka lah fikiran kenapa kami tak minta bantuan.
Apa yang kelakar sangat tu, Kak? Ni tengah tengok drama baru dekat tonton ni. Macam seronok je cerita ni. Kalau nak tengok kat TV, boleh tak?
Boleh je, Mak. Cari aplikasi tonton. Dah jumpa tu, tinggal buat turun je. Dah buka tonton, tekan butang sign in, nanti dia keluar macam ni. Dia ada bagi link. Tapi nak senang, invest je kod QR ni. Masukkan je ID dengan password. Sekarang ni tinggal cari senang dan main drama.
Kucing anda ada personality superstar? Inilah masa si comel sertai pertandingan Cat Fashion Week. Hantar video 1 minit paling bergaya. Email ke kontes@tv3.com.my atau muat naik ke media sosial sebelum 15 Disember. Jangan lupa hashtag kucing terpilih bakal melangkah ke pusingan seterusnya dengan hadiah meow narik. Info lanjut di TV3 Malaysia. Jadikan si bulus anda super meowdel terfamous.
Palestinian medical sources on Wednesday said the continued Zionist attacks on the north and center of the besieged Gaza Strip have killed dozens of innocent people. The Zionist army bombed a residential building in Beit Lahia near Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. The attack killed at least 20 people, including women and children, but there were fears that the death toll could rise. Meanwhile, at least 60 of wounded patients at the Indonesian hospital in the Israeli besieged northern Gaza are at risk of dying due to lack of food and water. Meanwhile, Qatar's mediation efforts for ceasefire in Gaza was renewed on Tuesday and is expecting to secure a truce in the war and hostage exchange soon. According to a spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Qatar is actively engaging with relevant participants in the Gaza ceasefire talks, listening to the positions of all parties and exchanging ideas with them through meetings and phone calls.
We do believe that it's not useful to say that pressure should be on one party, not the other. We need to pressure both parties into an agreement.
However, he also pointed out that positive connections does not mean that positive results will definitely be achieved. South Korean officials on Wednesday said the former defense minister Kim Yong-hyun tried to take his own life while in custody before authorities intervened. During a parliamentary hearing, the Commissioner General of the Korea Correctional Service said the former minister tried to kill himself using a string from his clothing minutes before his arrest was announced. According to officials, a control room staff member intervened, and when they opened the door, he immediately gave up the attempt. They added that Kim was now under protection in a secure cell and in good health. Kim is among top officials who are facing investigations for their role in Yoon's short-lived martial law order, which has sparked widespread fury in South Korea. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as lights across Regent Street, Oxford Street, Trafalgar Square, Covent Garden and Soho in the UK shine this holiday season for tourists and locals alike to enjoy. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah. Thank you for watching and stay safe.